I just can't grow enough okra. Everybody wants more okra, and we like to eat lots of okra, so I guess I'm just gonna have to plant some more. So today we're gonna go ahead and plant some more okra with our Hoss garden seeder and this row marker accessory right here. This 30 by 35 spot behind me here is one of the 6 subplots I have in my new dream garden. This is where we had our Irish potatoes planted. We've harvested those, got those in storage underneath the barn there. We've got this nice and cleaned up and ready to plant some okra here. Now, we didn't put drip tape on our Irish potatoes because we just don't put drip tape on our Irish potatoes. And so I'm gonna direct seed this area here and just overhead water it. I'm not gonna put drip tape on these. I'm gonna direct seed it. So I don't have to lay out my rows or anything because I'll be using this row marker here. And this thing is gonna make it really nice where I can just mark my next row as I'm planting. I don't have to measure anything. I can just get in here and plant. But before we plant this entire plot of okra right here, we better walk back to the barn and check our seed plate with the seed we'll be using today. Make sure everything's calibrated correctly so that everything works just right for us. All right, so I've got me a 1/4 pound of our jambalaya okra seed here. This is a green okra that's super productive. You've probably heard us talk about it in a lot of our other videos. And we want to make sure this seed is the right size for these holes that are pre-drilled in our stock number 3 seed plate. Now, it's usually pretty accurate, but on this seed, from one lot to the next, sometimes the size can vary a little bit. So we always want to make sure we check it. So let's open this up and see if that seed fits in those holes there. So we take our seeds and we put them in each hole here. And what we're looking for is to make sure those seeds will flow nicely through that hole without getting stuck, or that 2 seeds won't get stuck in there as well. And from the looks of this is going to be perfect. We don't need any adjustment on this seed plate. Everything should flow through really nicely, and we can also tell if we pick up that plate there, all those seeds are right where they should be. This number 3 seed plate has 6 holes in it, and based on our seeder gearing, we take 19 inches and divide it by the number of holes in the plate, and that gives us our seed spacing. So 19 divided by 6 is a little over 3 inches. Now, my end spacing on the okra will be a little bit further than that, but I like to ensure I get a good stand. So I'll plant them this close and probably then come thin them out to about 8 inches or 12 inches or something like that. And then we'll just put our hopper on here. We'll make sure the hole in the hopper is lined up with that seed drop hole there that's going all the way to the ground. Put our seed plate in there. Put our spacer cone right there. Our brush is going to sit in these 2 little grooves right here. And then we'll put our wing nut on right here. We're going to make sure we don't tighten this down too much, just till it touches that metal plate. All you want it is tight enough so this brush is not going to come out of here. If you tighten it down too much, the wheel's not going to spin freely and you're going to have some problems. So barely tighten that thing. And then we want to set our planting depth for okra at about 1/2 inch. So on our depth gauge right here, you see that little bubble right there? When that indentation that's ahead of that bubble there is flush with this frame, that's going to put us at 1/2 inch. So we just need to kind of lower it down here. Right there should put us at right 1/2 inch. So this here is our row marker accessory for the Hoss garden seeder, and this end right here is the end that inserts into the back of the garden seeder frame, and I'll show you how that works in just a minute. But you've got several different spacing options, and this thing extends out to 36 inches or 3 feet, and that's what we'll be planning on today. So you've got a marker on this side and on this side, so you can flip it to the left or the right to mark the next row. And then you've got spacing options here every 4 inches along this bar. So a lot of different options as far as what you want your row spacing to be: 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, or kind of anywhere in between. So our row marker is going to fit and slide inside this groove here on the back of the garden seeder frame. So we just insert it in there like this, and then we can move it around the handles, put it out that way if we want to mark the row to the left, or slide it over here and mark the row to the right. So now all we got to do is plant. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour me some seeds in here. And then on my row marker, I'm gonna lean this out to the left since I want to be marking the row to the left of what I'm planting first here. And like I mentioned, with the row marker, we don't have to lay off all our rows ahead of time. We just got to make sure we get this first row straight. So what I'll do is pick me out a piece of grass or something straight ahead of me, make sure that first row is straight, and then all the rest of my rows should be straight. So let's do it. And when you're planting with a seeder like this, you want to make sure you walk at just a slow and steady pace. You don't want to walk too fast. If you walk too fast, seeds are not going to have enough time to find those holes. So just a slow and steady pace will do it. Make sure you get real nice, accurate planting. We'll just flip our row marker over once again to the right this time. Get it in the dirt right here, and we're ready to plant another row. Now folks, it just doesn't get much quicker and easier than that using good tools like our Hoss garden seeder and our row marker attachment here. We planted, I think, 10 rows of okra in this 30 by 35 plot here. That should give us a nice stand of okra, you know, going into the summer, probably even producing into the fall before it gets too tall. So I'm about to go get the overhead sprinkler, water this okra seed in good. Should germinate in just a few days. It's hot as it's been being, as long as I can keep it wet. I'll put some links below to our row marker accessory. I also put a link to our garden seeder combo where you can get the garden seeder, row marker, and all the plates we make. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you next time.